So I was doing research for this video. I was watching Olympiacos highlights, and I saw that now in the Europa League they have the 8K cameras. Bro, I swear to God, if Olympiacos beats Arsenal again and I have to watch a game-winning goal looking like a FIFA cutscene in 8K, I'm gonna lose my What's up, y'all? Welcome back Pitchside with Parker to another daily video. Today, we're preparing for the big one. It is revenge season. As you can see on the board, Arsenal versus Olympiacos, part 2. This time, it's for a spot in the Europa League quarterfinals, and there will be a lot to break down about this game. I'm going to tell you what to watch for from Olympiacos, how they've been doing this season, who can hurt Arsenal, and then from an Arsenal perspective, what they need to do to beat Olympiacos, and a predicted 11 for the first leg. But before we get into all that, be sure to subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. I do daily soccer content, I do lots of Arsenal content, and I'm on the road to 500 subs. So if you click around the channel, I'm sure you're going to find something you like, and this is the place to be, I promise. And finally, be sure to smash the like button before we even get started with the video, because that's what we do on this channel. So let's start with Olympiacos. And one immediate thing that they can hold over Arsenal is that they are already league champions. The Greek Super League only has one match day left, and with Olympiacos not only 16 points clear, but 32 goals on goal difference ahead of second place, they've had the league wrapped up for a while, and so their eyes are solely focused on this Europa League tie. And in terms of how Olympiacos did in Europe this season, they did start out in the Champions League. Yeah, another thing they can hold over Arsenal. And they finished third in their Champions League group, which also had Manchester City and Porto, who advanced. And they did just about scrape past Marseille on goal difference to get that extra Europa League qualification spot. And then they had a really tough matchup in the round of 32 against PSV, one of the many talented teams that is in the Europa League this season. It was actually a pretty crazy tie because Olympiacos won the first leg 4-2, and then PSV came all the way back from down 2 goals. They were up 2-0 in the second leg, and they had the away goals advantage, so Olympiacos needed to score, and they got a late winner through Ahmed Hassan to take them into the round of 16, where they have matched up against Arsenal. So when looking at the Olympiacos roster, I mean, Arsenal will certainly be familiar with plenty of players. They will know a lot of them from the Europa League last season, and then there is also one player who Arsenal will be intimately familiar with, and that is, of course, Sokratis, so a big reunion coming with him. And this will be an interesting one, because Ruben Semedo is one of their normal center backs. I would say he's Olympiacos' best center back, and he hurt his knee in their last league game, so he will be out for this one. And so I would presume that Sokratis will start. I think for Sokratis personally, he will have quite a point to prove in this game because it flew under the radar, but the way that Sokratis left Arsenal was low-key super sketchy. His story was almost as crazy as Ozil's, and it was very similar actually in terms of the way that they were both iced out of the team. He just got a lot less press because, he's not Mesut Ozil. But there was definitely some fishy business going on there as well, and he was eventually able to force his way out and go to Olympiacos. And he hasn't played a whole lot for them just yet, but he will certainly be a capable fill-in for Semedo. And yeah, it'll be an interesting reunion with the big Greek man in the back. But in terms of the rest of the lineup, I mean, El Arabi is always going to be the guy you're most concerned about as an opponent of Olympiacos. He's got 19 goals in all competitions this season, which is far and away the best on Olympiacos. Nobody else is in double figures. And obviously, he scored the winner last year in the Europa League, so definitely Arsenal fans and Arsenal defenders alike will not need any reminder of what he can do. But they do have a couple other players who are very creative and who can certainly pitch in a goal or an assist themselves. Fortounis has 7 goals and 10 assists this season. Masouras has 8 goals and 4 assists for them as well. Mikel Valbuena is a player that a lot of people will remember from his time with France. And last year, he absolutely bossed Arsenal in the Europa League. So he is a very intelligent, creative player. I could see him giving Arsenal a lot of fits like he did last season. And then rounding out the midfield, they also have Mvia and Kamara, who are a couple of really, really good players as well. I mean, I think they genuinely have a very strong midfield that could certainly compete with the players that Arsenal will roll out. One of the most fascinating moves that Olympiacos made this year was actually signing Kenny Lala in the January transfer window. This one I feel like went a little bit under the radar, but Strasbourg is who he played for before. You may remember he kind of led them to the Coupe de France a couple years ago, and he had an incredible season. He's kind of a FIFA legend, so for the fellow footheads out there, I'm sure you'll know about Kenny Lala. But he's a very good attacking right back, so he will definitely push forward from right back position. He can cause a lot of problems when he gets forward. But with all that being said, I think the player I'm low-key most concerned about is Ahmed Hassan, also known as Coca, the Egyptian forward, and he has been a super sub of dreams for Olympiacos this season. He has 9 goals and 3 assists, and I think he's only started like 6 games. And he's pulled up in the big moments as well, because he scored the game-winning goal against Marseille in the Champions League group, and that win was their only 3 points in the Champions League, so that goal by itself was what got them into the Europa League. And he also scored that late goal winner against PSV, where they had to score or else they were going to go out. He came on as a sub, and he got it done just poaching in the box. So that type of player to be able to bring on and change a tie at the end, especially given Arsenal's history of falling asleep at the end of games and the way that it went last year in extra time. I mean, if this game gets late and they throw the dice and bring him on, he's got it in him to win a tie. That is as much as I can say. Now, if I was Olympiacos, there's a few things that I would definitely be looking to do against Arsenal, because there's a few ways that you can always beat the Gunners. The first of which is to high press. There have been times under Arteta where Arsenal has been able to play out of the back really well and build kind of full team goals playing out of the back, but if you look at the most recent game against Burnley, you don't have to look far to find the calamities that have come, especially from Granit Xhaka. So if I'm Olympiacos, I would be high pressuring Arsenal, setting traps, and especially targeting Xhaka on the press. And he is clearly the weak link in the midfield. If I was an opposing player, that's who I would target. So I think high press him, try to cause a mistake, score on the counter. Another way that they can definitely get at Arsenal is just by being very physical. Like, if I am in Villa and I come into this game playing holding mid and I see Odegaard or Smith Rowe run out there in the attacking mid position, I'm putting them in the dirt. First time, let them know, we're Olympiacos, we beat you last year, and this is not going to be easy. Especially in this first leg where Olympiacos will be at home, the emphasis will be on them to get the clean sheet, and so I think we will see a very physical, a very scrappy performance from them. And there are obviously certain players as well on Arsenal's team who, if you can get in their head, you can cause a moment of craziness. You can cause a red card. That is one of Arsenal's hugest weaknesses. So that is probably something they'll be looking at as well. Just get into their heads, try to cause a mistake, and that's how Arsenal can really burn themselves. So from the flip side, what are the ways that Arsenal could exploit Olympiacos? Because yes, we've talked a lot about the Greek side, and they do have a lot of talent. They do have a lot of impressive players, but Arsenal will definitely be the favorites here, okay? They definitely have a better squad, and they should be getting through this fixture if we just look at it objectively. The first thing that stuck out to me as I was watching the Olympiacos highlights is that they've conceded a lot on set pieces this year. Usually that's not an area that Arsenal is great at, but this season they have been a little bit better on set pieces. And so I think just doing everything you can to win those extra fouls, attack the ball on corners, get the ball into the box as much as possible. Again, they will be without Semedo. Sokratis is a great center back, but he's not as tall as Semedo. And so that could give a little bit of room for, an Aubameyang or something to get in for a header. And Jose Sa is their goalkeeper. He's a little questionable with the ball in the air. So he's had some shaky moments for them. And I think, again, that's an area to attack. If we get corner kicks, put them on the 6-yard box, put them on the goalkeeper, and make them deal with it. They gave away 3 different goals off set pieces against PSV, so that is an area that Arsenal should be looking at. And then from a more tactical standpoint, the area that I'm most interested in this game is going to be the left side of the field for Arsenal or the right side for Olympiacos. As I mentioned before, Kenny Lala is their right back, and he is really good at going forward, but he's so eager sometimes that he can be caught out and he can leave a lot of space behind him. And so I think that if Arsenal play Tierney plus either Saka or Aubameyang or Pepe, even Willian, whoever plays on that left-hand side, if Arsenal can get involved in 2v1s and pressure players forward, and even when they're defending, to just leave someone up on that side to try to exploit the space that Lala leaves, I think that could definitely be a route to success for Arsenal on the counterattack. And from an Olympiacos standpoint, I mean, if you want to look at it the other way, they might be telling Lala to press forward. They might be saying, hey, we need you to pin Tierney back. We need you to pin Aubameyang back, make him defend if he's playing left wing. So I think that battle territorially will be really interesting. But with as good as Tierney has been this season, and then combining him with whoever the left winger is, I just think there's going to be opportunities for Arsenal coming out to the left. It's where they've been strongest all season, and I definitely expect them to create some chances off the left-hand side. All right, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the Arsenal predicted lineup. Now, this is going to be more so what I think Arteta will go with as opposed to what I would go with. But yeah, so I will go with Leno in goal. I mean, I think this is an easy one. At right back, it's probably going to be Bellerin. I would not play him there personally. I would go with Cedric. But I think Bellerin at this point, as long as he's fit, he's playing in a big game for Arteta. So alongside him at center back, I think it'll be Luiz and Gabriel. They are the two that played the last Europa League games against Benfica. So I would expect them to be back in there. I haven't been a huge fan of the way that Arteta has rotated the center backs because I just feel like it's a weird position to rotate. But I'm just going with the patterns that I've seen from him in the Europa League. So I think it'll probably be Luiz and Gabriel. And to be fair, I do think that is probably my favorite center back pairing. It just does concern me that they didn't play in the last game in the Prem. And then at left back, it's got to be Kieran Tierney. As I said, I think he'll be very crucial in this game. As far as the pivot, Thomas Partey is fit. He's got to be in there. And then Xhaka will be next to him. I know it's not what we want, but it's what we're going to get. So we just better prepare for it and get ready for it. Hopefully we get good Xhaka and we don't get red card Xhaka or penalty Xhaka or give the ball away Xhaka. There's a lot more of those additions than there are good Xhakas. But in any case, he'll probably be in there and we just have to hope for the best. And the one thing I can say is that he has been good when paired with Partey this season. So hopefully they show up in this big game. The front four is where it gets a little dicey. I mean, I'm really kind of just making my best guess at this point because there's a lot of interchangeable parts. And the way that I see it, there's a couple undroppable players. Saka clearly is undroppable. Number one, first name on the team sheet, he's got to be in there. Which side he plays on probably depends on who else is out there. But the other guy I think right now is undroppable is Aubameyang. He's scored so many goals in the last few games. The hat-trick against Leeds. He scored 2 against Benfica. He scored against Burnley again. He's got to be in there. He's the captain. He's the highest paid player. He's the leader of the line. He's the top goal scorer. So again, it's going to depend where he plays. But what I think will happen is that Alba goes on the left, Saka goes on the right, Lacazette up top with Odegaard behind him. This would be a very attacking lineup. We haven't seen Aubameyang and Lacazette start together in quite some time. But Lacazette played really well against Burnley. And he has taken the chances that he's been given recently, even though he's been on the bench a lot. As I said, Aubameyang's on fire. I think Saka is there. This is unfair to Pepe. It might even be a little unfair to Willian, but it is what it is. And then I think you just throw Odegaard in the 10 behind them and say, look, go get us some goals because Arsenal is away in the first leg, so they will absolutely need to score in this game or else Olympiacos will have a huge advantage heading to the Emirates.